Hi, welcome back to the channel. I want to quickly talk about the different kind of stages of food storage. I've talked previously about storing grains in buckets and the process for doing that, because that's not something most people are familiar with. But I just kind of want to, that's not the only thing. So, stage zero, starvation. As we're kind of all familiar with right now, um, we just went through a global pandemic where somebody ate a bat next to a virus research lab, and suddenly that city is full of a virus that spanned the world, and the grocery stores were empty, and Uber Eats wasn't delivering. Um, just the last few months, almost a year now, I suppose, a certain person who really likes vodka decided to start a war and invade one of the primary grain producing countries in Europe. We'll see how that goes in the next few months. Hopefully, it won't be bad, but maybe. So, the first stage of actually storing food is what's frequently referred to as a deep pantry. And this is kind of self explanatory. The idea is when you go shopping for groceries, you just buy extra of the things that you normally eat and you store it. So, for example, I normally eat peanuts. When I buy peanuts, I buy two. Step closer. We go through a lot of noodles. As you can see, when we buy noodles, we buy a bunch. And when we eat one of these, we go buy some more to replace it. The whole idea is you have a pantry, it is deep. Want soup? Instead of just buying one of these, we're going to buy three. Tomatoes, we don't just buy one can, we buy a case at a time. And it's simple. You just buy the stuff you regularly would eat and fill your pantry. The next stage of food storage is putting grain in buckets. As you can see behind me, I've got buckets of beans. I know technically they're a fruit, not a grain, but still, they work well in buckets dried. Buckets of rice. You can also store wheat and corn. Those require grinders, so they're more work. And I've done separate videos about the process for storing these. The nice thing about these is they'll last for literally decades. And if you need a lot of food fast and cheap, this works. Like we had a snowstorm a while ago. We ended up taking in one friend. We came close to taking in a family of 8, 3 of which were teenagers. You go through food 10 times as fast. So having something like this is a really easy option to go, hey, we're having chili rice for dinner. You grab your beans, you grab your rice, you grab some tomatoes, and you have chili rice. And the last stage of food storage is gardening, where you start producing your own food. That's a skill. It takes work. It takes a lot of learning. You can look at my weekly garden update videos for the last 6 months to see what works and what didn't work for me, and it's depending on a lot of things. So that's why you kind of want the other stages ready to go. Because your deep pantry will feed you nicely for potentially a month, maybe 2 if you have a big pantry in a small household. Your food storage in buckets isn't going to taste as good. You start running into vitamin issues there. We might talk about that later. But really, to extend beyond that is to grow it yourself. So that's where you get to the sustainable gardening, where you're not just growing your own food, but you're also producing your own fertilizers so that you're not relying on inputs going to the store to buy fertilizer. You can actually do it yourself. Similar, you can capture your own water, you can have a well, things like that to get the inputs you need to grow your food. So food storage isn't just putting grains in buckets. That's just one of the things I've shown in several videos because it's something most people don't even think of. I mean, hopefully you never need any of them, but if you do, the deep pantry should last you. If something goes really bad and you need to pop open your grains buckets, well, it's a good thing you have them. Kind of beyond that with gardening, your grain buckets are going to keep you fed while you ramp up your garden. You're not going to, like, overnight have a garden. It takes a while to plant crops and get those in, and they have to be at the right times of year. If you haven't gardened, start doing it now. It's fun and a lot of work. and you'll learn a whole lot doing it. Yeah, plant a garden. Talk to y'all later.